The Franco-Prussian War, a pivotal conflict in European history, raged from July 1870 to May 1871. This war pitted the Second French Empire against the rising Kingdom of Prussia and its German allies. Tensions had been brewing for years between these two European powers. France, under Emperor Napoleon III, watched with growing unease as Prussia, led by Otto von Bismarck, steadily unified the German states. Bismarck, a master strategist, skillfully manipulated international affairs to further his goal of a unified Germany. France, fearing encirclement and a challenge to its dominance, sought to maintain the existing balance of power. The unification of Germany under Prussian leadership threatened France's position as the dominant power in continental Europe. The French military, though formidable on paper, suffered from outdated tactics and equipment. Conversely, the Prussian army, under the guidance of Helmuth von Moltke the Elder, boasted a modern military machine honed by recent victories. This disparity in military preparedness, coupled with Bismarck's cunning diplomacy, set the stage for a clash that would reshape the political landscape of Europe. The stage was set for a confrontation that would have far-reaching consequences for both nations and the continent as a whole. The immediate trigger for the Franco-Prussian War was the seemingly minor issue of the Spanish succession. In 1870, the Spanish throne was offered to Prince Leopold of Hohenzollern-Sigmaringen, a distant relative of Prussian King Wilhelm I. France, seeing this as a direct threat to its interests, protested vehemently. Bismarck, recognizing an opportunity to provoke France, saw the Spanish succession crisis as a chance to further his aims. He cleverly manipulated a telegram, the MAS dispatch, which detailed a meeting between King Wilhelm I and the French ambassador. The edited telegram, released to the press, made it appear that Wilhelm I had insulted the French ambassador. This calculated move inflamed public opinion in both countries, pushing them closer to the brink of war. The French, feeling insulted and threatened, demanded an apology and assurances that Leopold would not be a candidate for the Spanish throne. Bismarck's carefully crafted provocation had the desired effect. France declared war on Prussia on July 19, 1870. On July 19, 1870, France, fueled by nationalist sentiment and a sense of injured pride, declared war on Prussia. The French public, caught up in a wave of patriotic fervour, largely supported the war effort. They believed in the superiority of their army and anticipated a swift victory. However, this initial enthusiasm would soon give way to despair as the realities of the battlefield became clear. The French leadership, confident in their military strength, had underestimated the Prussian army's capabilities and Bismarck's strategic genius. The French army, plagued by logistical issues and hampered by outdated tactics, found itself ill-prepared for the Prussian war machine. The Prussians, on the other hand, were well-equipped, well-trained, and benefited from a unified command structure. The French army, burdened by outdated tactics and internal divisions, would soon face the full brunt of Prussian military might. Section 4. A series of crushing defeats, key battles and French misfortunes. The Franco-Prussian War was a series of humiliating defeats for the French army. The Prussians, with their superior numbers, tactics and leadership, consistently outmaneuvered their French counterparts. A key factor in the Prussian victories was their effective use of railroads, which allowed them to mobilize troops and supplies much faster than the French. The Battle of Sedan, fought on September 1st and 2nd, 1870, proved to be a decisive turning point in the war. The Prussians, led by Moltke the Elder, surrounded the French army, capturing Emperor Napoleon III and a significant portion of his forces. This stunning victory sent shockwaves throughout France, shattering the aura of invincibility that had surrounded the French army. The Battle of Sedan effectively decided the outcome of the war in Prussia's favor. The capture of Napoleon III threw the French government into disarray, paving the way for the siege of Paris and the eventual Prussian victory. With their emperor a prisoner and their army in disarray, the French faced a bleak future. Section 5. The Agony of Paris, the siege and its aftermath. Following the defeat at Sedan and the capture of Napoleon III, the Prussians marched on Paris. The city, under a newly formed government of national defense, prepared for a siege. The Siege of Paris, lasting from September 19, 1870 to January 28, 1871, was a harrowing experience for the city's inhabitants. Food and supplies dwindled as the Prussian forces encircled the city, cutting off supply lines. Parisians endured bombardment, starvation and disease, their plight a testament to the brutal realities of modern warfare. Despite their dire circumstances, the Parisians put up a spirited defense, enduring months of hardship and deprivation. However, with dwindling supplies and mounting casualties, the city was forced to surrender on January 28, 1871. The Siege of Paris and its subsequent surrender marked the final chapter of the Franco-Prussian War, a conflict that had profound consequences for both France and the European balance of power. Section 6. A New Order, the Treaty of Frankfurt and its legacy. The Treaty of Frankfurt, signed on May 10, 1871, formally ended the Franco-Prussian War. The treaty imposed harsh terms on France, including the cession of Alsace-Lorraine to the newly unified Germany and a hefty war indemnity. These terms would have long-lasting consequences, fostering resentment in France and contributing to future conflicts. The treaty also had significant implications for the balance of power in Europe. The unification of Germany under Prussian leadership created a new European powerhouse. The creation of a unified and powerful German empire significantly altered the European balance of power, marking the end of France's dominance and the beginning of a new era of German ascendancy. In France, the defeat in the Franco-Prussian War led to the collapse of the Second French Empire and the establishment of the Third Republic. The war had exposed the weaknesses of the Second Empire, paving the way for a new era in French politics. The legacy of the Franco-Prussian War would continue to shape European politics for decades to come, contributing to the tensions that ultimately led to World War I.